The way we express our thoughts, ideas, and feelings is made possible by a well structured system of spoken sounds and written elements, which is known as language. Today, our world has about 7,117 different varieties of languages, and out of these, only 37 languages are spoken by most of the world. But what would happen if our world had only one language? How our world would change if everyone spoke the same language? Is it even possible for the world to adopt only one language? Well, today we are going to find answers to all of these questions. Stay tuned till the end of the video as an interesting question is waiting for you. Well, if the whole world started to speak the same language, then something known as language barrier will disappear from the face of earth. We could travel to any part of the world because communication will become easy. Understanding lyrics of K-pop will become a simple task. Movies from other parts of the world won't need to be dubbed, and books won't need to be translated. People will no longer need interpreters and translators. We could study in any country to complete our bachelor's and master's. And also understanding what this person means in his speeches will become an easy task. So you might think one language, one world will be a blessing to every human being as it has a huge number of advantages. Well, it has its own pros, but at the same time there is a very big con. That is, our world will become a very boring and dull place to live because we would be losing something known as diversity. If you see, languages are very deeply integrated into our culture. In some cases, the roots of a culture were built by the language people spoke, and different cultures and languages are one of the things that make our world beautiful and interesting. Also, people don't want to lose their native language as it is what that connects them to their past. While protecting cultures might be a barrier for the world to adopt one single language, some experts predict that 50 to 90% of current languages will disappear by the end of the century. Today, about one third of the world's languages have less than 1,000 speakers, and every 2 weeks a language dies with its last speaker. Also, a report from UNESCO states that 230 languages went extinct from 1950 to 2010. While languages die at the rate of 1 in every 14 days, an attempt was made to develop a global language. In 1887, a Polish ophthalmologist named Zamenhof created a language Esperanto with an aim to build an international language that everyone could speak. Today, Esperanto has about 2 million speakers, but sadly it isn't recognized as an international auxiliary language of the world yet, and also it seems unlikely to become a viable form of the global language. Speaking about one language, one world, you will be surprised to know that according to ancient Judeo-Christian scriptures, there was a time long ago when every person on earth spoke the same language. People back then wanted to make a name for themselves, so they decided to build a massive tower to heaven, known as the Tower of Babel. But instead of making a name for themselves, they angered the god. So the god disrupted the work by confusing the languages of the workers so that they couldn't understand each other, thus dividing humans into different linguistic groups. Now, whether this story represents religious symbolism or actual human history is a question for scholars. But many linguistic experts believe that the roots of present languages are based on the languages that existed before them. And they have also found many similarities among the world's oldest languages, including Greek, Latin, and Sanskrit. In fact, the languages we use nowadays are kind of interdependent on each other. Like many words in popular languages like Hindi and English have their origins in other languages. For example, in English, the mosquito is taken from Spanish, tsunami from Japanese, lemon from Arabic, avatar from Hindi, and the list goes on and on. Similarly, Hindi words like Tariq, Maine, Akhbar, Kafi have their origins in Arabic. Besides the dependencies of languages on other languages, if we look at the history, we will notice that languages also depend on the community which ruled on another community. The best example of this is the spread of the English language, which occurred parallel to the spread of the British Empire. And today, in the world of globalization, English is used for business, travel, education, and anything which occurs on the international level. While some might say that English is the language for the global communication, but it's highly unlikely to be the only language that the world will speak, because people would never want to leave their native language as it's a part of their culture and different cultures are the things that make our world so interesting and diverse. So, will there be a day when everyone on earth will speak the same language? Well, only time knows the answer. Now, as promised, it's time for you to answer a simple question. But before that, we would like to congratulate our viewers who gave the correct answer to the question in our previous video, which was Valentina Tereshkova. Now, the question for today is, given below are 4 English words, and you have to tell the word that does not have any other rhyming word in the English language. Type your answer in the comments and the winner's name will be featured in our next video. And please don't Google for the answer. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you are new here then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook.